Look at you, sitting there in your comfortable chair, thinking you've got it all figured out. You're a Sagittarius, born to explore, to take, and to chase that next big thrill. But let's take a closer look at what's driving this fire in your belly. Is it the need for freedom, or is it something more? You see, as a Sagittarius, you have a tendency to romanticize failure. You believe that every setback is just another opportunity to learn and grow. And on the surface, that sounds like a healthy attitude. But what if I told you that this very trait is actually holding you back? What if I told you that your fear of stability is secretly driving your financial decisions? You're making a big money mistake because you're constantly chasing after the next big score, without ever stopping to think about the long-term consequences. You're so focused on living life to the fullest that you're neglecting one of the most important things: planning for the future. And I'm not talking about just having a safety net. I'm talking about building a financial foundation that will support you through thick and thin. But here's the thing, this isn't just about you. This is about the fear of stability that runs deep in your Sagittarius psyche. It's a fear that says, if I play it safe, I'll be bored out of my mind. But what if I told you that safety doesn't have to mean boredom? What if I told you that there's a way to balance your love of adventure with a solid financial plan? We're just getting started on this journey, and I want you to know that we're going to explore some dark corners of your psyche. But don't worry, it's time for the truth to come out. And it's time for you to take control of your finances once and for all. When it comes to Sagittarius, the biggest money mistake often lies not in their financial decisions themselves, but in how society perceives them and the expectations placed upon them. You see, Sagittarians are known for their love of freedom and spontaneity, which can be misinterpreted as a lack of responsibility or discipline. When it comes to managing finances, they're often seen as reckless spenders, prone to impulsive decisions that lead to financial instability. However, the truth is that Sagittarius's natural inclination towards exploration and adventure often leads them to invest in experiences, not material possessions. The problem lies in society's narrow definition of success and what it means to be financially responsible. We're taught to prioritize stability and security over freedom and spontaneity, which can lead to feelings of suffocation and stagnation for Sagittarians. They're constantly torn between pursuing their passions and meeting the expectations of others. This core contradiction can be exhausting, as they struggle to balance their desire for independence with the need to provide for themselves and others. By understanding and accepting this paradox, we can begin to see that Sagittarius's financial mistakes often stem from a deeper issue: their own inner conflict between freedom and responsibility. You're approaching the breaking point when Sagittarius' biggest money mistake comes to a head, a specific, cinematic moment that's impossible to ignore. It might be watching a friend or loved one get into a financial bind due to their own reckless spending habits, and seeing how it affects their relationships. Maybe you were there for them in person, holding their hand as they struggled to make ends meet, and now you're shouldering the burden alone. Or perhaps it was online, scrolling through social media, witnessing someone's financial struggles go public, and feeling your own anxiety spike. Or maybe, just maybe, the trigger is a little more personal. Maybe it's the memory of a past financial disaster that's been haunting you for years, one that you've been too afraid to confront head on. You see yourself standing in front of a bank, trying to explain why there isn't enough money in your account, or why your latest business venture has tanked. The shame and embarrassment are crushing, and now the fear is creeping in. What if this happens again? What if you're not good enough? The breaking point for Sagittarius is often marked by a sense of what could have been, that lingering feeling of, if only, or if I had just done things differently. They replay their financial mistakes over and over, trying to find the one thing they could have done differently to avoid it all. And now, as you approach this breaking point, you're forced to confront the reality of your own financial limitations. A harsh reminder that even with the best intentions, sometimes life just doesn't work out as planned. When it comes to financial decision-making, Saggies often employ a defense mechanism that's as insidious as it is effective: the scorched earth policy. This toxic coping strategy involves deliberately sabotaging relationships with others who may be draining their resources or threatening their freedom. By severing ties with these individuals, Sagittarians believe they're protecting themselves from further financial and emotional harm. However, this behavior can quickly escalate into a pattern of destructive abandon, leaving a trail of broken relationships and burned bridges in its wake. The scorched earth policy is often rooted in the fear that others will discover their deepest secrets or vulnerabilities, making them feel exposed and powerless. By taking control of their finances through a ruthless and indiscriminate dismantling of connections, Saggies hope to regain a sense of security and autonomy. But this desperate attempt at self-protection can ultimately lead to a deeper isolation, where the very people they need most are driven away by their own fear and mistrust. As we dive deeper into the psyche of Sagittarius, it's clear that their biggest money mistake stems from a deep-seated need for validation. They've been conditioned to believe that financial success is directly tied to their self-worth, and this misconception can lead them down a path of reckless spending and poor investment choices. But what's driving this desire for external validation? Is it the fear of being seen as inadequate or unworthy? The answer lies in their tendency to people please, often prioritizing others' needs over their own. Sagittarius must learn to recognize that true fulfillment comes not from external sources, but from within. It's time to break free from the cycle of seeking validation through material possessions and instead focus on cultivating a sense of inner peace and self-awareness. If you're ready to unlock your full financial potential and shatter the illusion of external validation, then it's time to take action. Will you subscribe to my channel if you want to master your true power?